guys, happy Tuesday. I am going to try to keep this a little short because it is a daily. If it were monthly, I'd go into it a little bit further because I think that this is a wonderful reading, okay? What we have here, and again, remember guys, I'm dropping astrological signs and houses so that you kind of have an idea more so because it's a general read as to how it applies to you, but I'm going to try to put it in a way that it pretty much pertains to everyone. But don't drop anchor there. Don't think that because you're not a Libra, or you're not a Sagittarius, or you're not this or that it doesn't pertain to you. It absolutely does. It's just, it gives you a clearer perspective as to what the card actually means in this kind of read, okay, in a general daily throw, okay? So there. So you get the most, for your daily knowledge, right? Okay. What we come in with is lovely. It's the Ace of Cups, okay? That's the card of abundance, okay? That is peace within, clarity, okay? It doesn't necessarily just pertain to a relationship. It's abundance, okay? And abundance is anything that you need to do when you need to do it, you have the resources to do it, right? So it's anything that needs to get done can get done because you've got the means, the resources on all fronts to do that, all right? So be that a relationship, be it a job, it's inner peace that you're given, right? People will often say, I just need peace in my life, peace I give to you. So we have it. We just need to learn how to keep it there and remember it in the days where we're pulling out our hair, right? Okay, so that's lovely to come in with, okay? We've also now got the King of Coins crossed by the Three of Swords, and an extra card fell out on our outbound card, so I was not I had to take it. It was just the right thing to do. So we've got the Nine of Wands and the Sun card, okay? What I think is happening here, too, is we've got the King of Coins coming in here. That's someone that's very, very, can be extremely materialistic, or they can just, that's just an important part of who they are. They're, they like the finer things in life, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're a very successful person. Again, this doesn't necessarily need to be an actual person. It's just the archetype of someone who is very financially secure. They're very savvy. They know how to make money, okay? And it's crossed by the Three of Swords here, okay? That's Saturn and Libra, okay? That's the 7th house, sharing, relationships, okay? And Saturn is desires, fears, and challenges. I'm going to pull this together at the end, so just follow me for now. Our outbound card here is the Nine of Wands crossed by the Sun card, okay? The Nine of Wands is the 9th house, okay? That's the Moon in Sagittarius, our emotions. And the 9th house is ageless wisdom, okay? It's the journey along the path. And the Sun card is harmony, enlightenment. It's peace, it's love, it's the yes card, it's amazing. But by the time that you get there, you've had to merge some things through trial and error in your life, right? So I think what's happening here is, given we just had the new moon and the eclipse, we're eclipsing out things to welcome new things in. And I think that includes people, because I think what's happening here is, if you look at this, the Three of Swords is just really doing things in a different way, okay? It's analyzing patterns that you've got here. And if we look at this, this is Saturn and Libra, okay? Libra is, and I have tons of friends that are Libra, so don't take offense to this. It's just, everything has to be perfect. It has to be, the Grey Poupon commercial, so to speak. Everything has to be, perfectly placed in the Cartier box. It's unrealistic. And unfortunately, I think that there is, they cut off a lot of people that cross their paths because they're looking for life to be, this picture perfect, like television kind of show. And it's just, unfortunately, it's just not like that. So that's what I think that, the King of Swords is, King of Coins here is someone very, very set in their ways. It's usually their way or no way. There really isn't much room for compromise there. But how he shows up here, he's crossed by the Three of Swords. So that's what we've got to look at here. Okay, and that's just really not doing things the way that you've done them. And it's also, maybe cutting some people out that aren't serving you. The beauty in the people that we surround ourselves with in business and in personal relationships, in business relationships, just the people in general, okay, that are in our sphere. They're not perfect. The beauty of, people will often say to me too, I won't date this person, but they could be a friend. You should be as discerning with your friends as you are with the people that you would date. Okay, obviously on different levels, but if someone's got moral integrity and they're really a good person and they'd have your back and there's someone you could call in the middle of the night, those are the people that are there and going to be supporting you, regardless of, how pretty the box is. Okay, these are the people that have staying power in your life and they're the abundance. Okay, so I think that the abundance coming into this relationship are the people that you've got to surround yourself with. Because Libras too, I'll get a lot of times where, why can't, Libras, why can't love ever come into our lives? It passes you every day. You stare it straight in the face, but it doesn't it's not packaged exactly how you like. So, I think the rite of passage with that is that, it's you have to learn that stuff. And then you find, the really good relationships. You open yourself up to that, because how we go out of this reading is the Nine of Swords. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. The Nine of Wands. However, I did say that a few times. So the Nine of Swords, let me just back up to that. That's coming to different realizations about things, right? It's the stark realities of how we've done things, right? So anyhow, this is the Nine of Wands, though, so we're going to take it at that. That is the life experience card, okay? It's a card of stamina. But what it is, too, is that, life isn't always easy. But when we get to a certain point in life, we know what choices to make life not hard, right? That we become more discerning. And that's crossed by the Sun card. That's the Harmony card. To get the Sun to come to its full capacity there, that is the melding of two. Okay, those are usually two dormant things that lie within you until something kicks up the dust. Why are these people in my life? Why can't I count on them? Where are the relationships that I want to come into my life? When you merge all of that stuff within yourself, and the Ace of Cups too is self-love, okay? So you have to look at yourself and just say, you know what? I'm abundant. I'm perfect as I am, okay? Because the Nine of Swords, again, is mood in Sagittarius. That's the... that's, I think, where the Grey Poupon commercial meets the Marlboro Man. Everything, needs to be, green pastures, blue skies, freedom. And that's what, the paradox is with the Sun card there. It's the, wanting to be alone, but yet wanting to share life experiences with people. And when those two meet, the compromise there is the full potential of that Sun card. So that's what you're doing. You're just realizing that at this point in your life, keep in mind too, Sagittarius is the teacher, the helper. But I think that really in here what it is the lesson is, who you're supposed to teach is yourself. That's what I think that the lesson is in here, that life doesn't always come in a pretty box, but it's what you put in there that has the value. Okay, so I think what you're doing is you're being very discerning about the relationships in your life on all fronts. And that's, a tough lesson sometimes. It's analyzing, it's really self-analyzing the old patterns that you've got, so that you don't end up with another sword there, because that's a repetitive pattern. It's things, again, that we go back to from childhood, right? So the Ace of Cups is just saying in here that you are abundant, okay? You have all of the resources. I just kept, when I threw these cards, I just kept hearing, peace I give to you, peace I give to you. We have that. So when people go looking for it, and they're looking for it in all the wrong places, in all the wrong relationships, it's just telling you that you already have the peace within. And when your mind is clear, and you're at peace, and you realize that you are abundant, okay? Abundance is, a safe place to sleep. It's looking around and being healthy and just really giving thanks for everything. You may have at certain points, maybe just an example, $10 to your name, but a bill that you've got to pay that day is $9.99. That's abundance, that you had the $10 to pay the $9.99 bill. That's abundance. It's having the resources to do the things that you need to do when you need to do them. That is the most undervalued word and used in the most incorrect way all of the time. We are abundant as we are, so just be, more discerning with your values and the people in your lives and how you see things, how you look at situations, and just make choices, based from what you know about yourself. The Nine of Wands, too, is knowing yourself. It's giving your all to everything that you do, but knowing when you're done, right? And that goes for relationships, jobs, everything. You give everything in life, your all, but then when you're done, and you release it, and you move on to the next thing. That's where the beauty in the Nine of Wands comes in. It's knowing that, you don't spend hours getting caught up in the fear aspect of life. It's you don't worry about the things that are out of your control. And again, that's where the Sun card comes in. That's where all the doors open, right? That's the breath of life comes in. When you are living a life that's true to yourself, you're surrounded by the people that you really know care about you, and you care about them. And that's what it is. So, I think, the Grey Poupon and the Marlboro Man, I think that's a pretty good, combination, That's all I can really say. I think that it's a great reading. I think that you're just being discerning, you're making wise choices for yourself, and you're really taking stock of, how you've done things and how you're going to do things. And I think that that's wonderful. That really is abundance on all levels, okay? So I'm not going to say anything. I think that everything is great. I think that sometimes in life, though, we really need to look at, maybe we're in our own way. Libras, if just anyone in general, too. If things aren't coming into your life, take a survey of the people that you're spending your time with, that you're surrounding yourselves with. You may, realize that, hey, I really do care about these people that have been in my surroundings for years, but I just needed things to look a certain way, and now I realize that they don't need to look a certain way. That this person is invaluable to me. I need them. I really care about them. Things like that. And I think that that's really one of the lessons, too, that, if you give love an option to come in, it will be your heart's desire. It doesn't need to be, sometimes the carriage is the pumpkin, and it's priceless in that way. You've just got to, really be honest with yourself, okay? So there you have it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that it helped in some way. If you need a private reading, just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to look at anything for you. Okay? Thank you so much.